Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode here on my Minecraft Survival Let's Play world, where in the previous episode we extended our huge mountain range all the way in this direction, and I'm super happy with how it turned out. And with any instance, a lot of work on this mountain range is always a good sign. But for those of you which already know my channel a lot, you guys know that I like to mix it up a little bit. And with every single episode that comes, I try not to keep the same content going. So I'm just going to take a little break from this mountain range once again and then come back here in an episode or two just to mix it up a little bit for you guys. And in today's video, we're going back to the nether, which we were in 2 episodes ago, and we're going to be working on some more nether hub things. And I'm going to be explaining what we're going to be doing in today's episode as soon as I make my way all the way over to the nether hub, which I started building 2 episodes ago by my industrial district. And just like that, we've arrived already over here by the nether hub, and you can see with the style that we went for 2 episodes ago, we went with this train station kind of look, and I'm really happy with how it's turning out. And of course, we're going to be building more of these train stations in various locations. But right over here, we've got this little empty space alongside the train station, and I'm planning to build something over here in today's episode. And you guys may be wondering what that is. I'm just about to explain what that is to you guys right now. So for those of you which watch my channel very often and are really attached to my survival series, you may have known that I've got this huge gold farm above the nether ceiling, above the bedrock up there. And that gold farm produces a whole lot of gold. And you may be aware that the new game mechanics and the new nether update has brought in piglins, and they do lots of trading with gold to give you a various assortment of items which are super useful. And I want to get my hands on those materials. So that of course means building some sort of piglin bartering farm. And that's what I intend to do in today's episode over here. Kind of build something attached to the train station in a sort of similar style and decorate it as a piglin bartering farm. And I think that'd be super cool. And we can also get some villagers down here, do some trade with them. And I think that'd be a really nifty idea. So without further ado, let's get straight into how I'm going to do this. And to begin with, I'm just going to go ahead and clear out some space to build with, and then we can go ahead and think about how we're actually going to get in the piglins, bring down the gold, get in some villages maybe to do some rotten flesh trading and more, just kind of to build like a little kind of communal hub down here for some trading and some bartering. And without further ado, let's get straight into mining a bit more of this area here so that we have a little bit extra space to work with when it comes to actually building this area and doing some redstone. And wow, that didn't take long at all, and we've got already quite a nice defined space to work with, and I think this is a nice decent size to fit everything that I really want into it. We can fit in some piglins into this back wall here, break some extra room for some redstone behind that, filter the gold in and make them trade. I'm also thinking about having a line of villagers like I explained on this wall over here. And if you guys don't understand why I want some villagers, if you guys know that zombie piglins also drop rotten flesh, and with my gold farm I get loads upon loads of rotten flesh. And one of the trades that clerics actually do is trade rotten flesh for emeralds. So that's an easy way to gather a lot of emeralds. So I'm also going to put in some clerics back here just to get lots of currency as well. And then on this wall we can just have some sort of decoration, and we can keep with this entire theme of the train station like I was saying. But now with all that done, let's move on to the next part. So before we get straight into building this area over here and getting into time-lapse, because let's be real, it's a bit early on for time-lapse in today's video, let's go ahead and start figuring out how to get some piglins and some villagers into this area without too much of a hassle. So as you may have already noticed, this terminal over here is built just by a crimson forest. So I think getting piglins into this area won't be too hard. It's just waiting for them to spawn and actually navigating them into their little holding cells. So I just have to go ahead and wait for those. But for the villagers, however, they don't actually spawn in the nether if you guys actually know anything about Minecraft. And they actually spawn in villages, and you have to get them into the nether through another portal, and that's just going to be a huge process in itself. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is do the villager part first because let's be real, that's going to be a real pain to deal with. We might as well get the hard stuff done with at first because the piglins are so easy to get in because I bet you we already have some piglins around here. Look at that. We've got one, two, three, four, five piglins just down there and we've got two baby ones. Unfortunately, they do not trade gold, but we've got five piglins there and that's already more than half of the piglins I intend to put in this area over here. And they just chase me around non-stop, so I can just easily let them chase me into this small area over here and then name tag them and put them in their little cubby holes. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and create a little nether portal over here and try and figure out how to bring in our villagers and incorporate them into this back wall over here. And it just come to my attention that I've actually just remembered something. If we actually head over into my industrial district in the overworld, I just happened to remember that there may be a village very close by to my industrial district. And there is. This is the village. And I hope there's still some villagers alive in this area so that we can actually just transport them. And they're just two villagers right there already, and we can speed those guys up and bring them into the nether. So that's actually not going to be too hard to do. Now let's just quickly build another portal here and try and figure out how to get them into the nether. And actually, now that I think about it, this is the perfect opportunity to test out my speed running capabilities and see how fast I can actually build another portal in. And I think that'd be a really fun activity to share with you guys. Now, just keep in mind that I actually don't know anything about speed running, and if I ever did a speed run, I'd probably get the game finished in 2 hours because I really am bad at speed running. But let's see how I fare with this challenge. So hopefully this creates obsidian. Yeah, that creates obsidian. So I think you have to do like some sort of like super technique or something to get this done. Let's see if I know my speedrunning stuff. Also, I need to pick up that like pasting glass for later. Anyway, let's see how we can do this. So I think you place some water over here or something like this. That seems about right. And then you place. Oh, I'm so slow at this. Yeah, there's no way I can ever succeed at speedrun. And I think you place some lava there, some lava there. Now I think I'm doing this wrong anyway, but it seems to be going right. It seems to be making the nether portal shape. Then you place lava here, and this is going good so far. Place lava here. All right, that's very good. That's going great. Then what if you place lava here? Okay, cool. Place lava there. Alright, going good so far. And if we just grab our last two lava buckets, hopefully this makes obsidian. That does not make obsidian. Okay, we need to move this water source one block higher. Alright, let's see if this works now. Now if we place lava here, okay, that's good. And okay, I'm scared. Okay, let's just put the water there. And let's put some lava here. And there we go. We made another portal. Now all we need to do is slide it up. And that was extremely slow, but I'm actually happy with how fast I did that for my speed. And let's just quickly light this up here, make another portal, and let's just enter the nether and see where we end up. Now hopefully it won't be too far from where I'm thinking, and it's actually linked up to this portal here. So I think we can actually just make another portal here because since it's linked up, I don't think it'll be too hard to actually transport the villages. Actually, we can just use that portal there, but like a sort of railway, and just get the villagers into this location. And I think that'll be pretty easy. So I'm just quickly gonna go ahead, grab some rails, place them down, get a minecart, and try and push a few villagers into this little area down here. Alrighty, so I've gone ahead and rounded up a few villages now, and I've got them all in this area over here. And it wasn't actually too hard to get them into this area. Once they got through the nether portal, they kind of just naturally wandered in this direction, and I just plopped down a few boats so that they just stay where they are. And that was actually really easy nonetheless. So I think if you guys are going to make a piglin bartering farm with some villagers, it's actually not too hard to deal with, and I highly recommend it. Anyway, with all that done now, let's go ahead and start building this place up. So just before we're going to do that though, I'm going to expand this a little larger though because I've just realized that piglins trade over 19 different items. And this wall over here is not large enough to hold all the items that I'm thinking about because I'm going to have a huge sorting system attached to the Piglin Bartering farm so that I can easily sort the items and not have to deal with a huge chest monster piling up. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get straight into that. And how about we get straight into a time lapse as well, because I might as well start building once I've completed that. So I'll see you all after this time lapse. And whoa, that was one huge time lapse, but I hope everyone enjoyed that one like I always say in every single episode of the Survival Let's Play. But I'm really happy with what we came up with, which is this huge piglin barking farm over here. And I think it looks absolutely amazing and brings this whole place together. And just before we finish off today's episode, I actually want to go through all the parts that I built here, all the piglins trading, the redstone behind this, and the actual sorting system and all the materials that we get from this as well. So to begin with, let's talk about the design that I went with for this hallway over here. And let's begin with the floor down here. Now I've had some previous feedback while building this train station to include some more nether blocks. So I've taken in that feedback and kind of put it into use over here. So I brought in some really nice nethery looking blocks and built this huge carpet. So we've got some crimson nelium over here which lines this entire side with some nether gold ore. Then we've got some red wool to symbolize the redness of the crimson forest and the redness of the nether. And underneath the red carpet, we've of course got some glowstone for some hidden lighting. And then we've got this nice huge centerpiece as well, made out of some nether wart blocks. And of course, to line that, we've got some crimson helium once again. And this goes really nicely with this upper part here, where we've got some crimson wood, which looks really nice because it got some red pulsing veins on a very dark background, which complements this huge black stone polished brick roof that I've got. And I think that looks really nice. Then alongside that, we've got some gold trims as well to kind of show the bartering aspect of this piglin farm and all the gold that they use up. And I think when you put all of this together, it looks really, really nice. Now, it doesn't look really practical, but I think it's a nice design and it's kind of an abstract kind of form, but I really do like it. Now, just before I forget and we move on to the redstone and all the technical stuff, I forgot to mention because we built this right next to a train station over here, I've of course had to go with this nice stone textured all the way around the base portion of the hallway itself. And for the actual floor itself, I've also included some buttons as you may have noticed, and that's just for some extra spawn protection against some hoglins and some piglins. like this guy right here. And that guy wasn't supposed to spawn, but I'm just gonna kill him anyways. But now we can go ahead and move on to all the technical stuff, including the redstone and the Piglin Bartering farm itself. Now I'm not quite sure where to begin, but I'm just gonna start at this control panel over here. So if I actually just break down this wall so you can look at the backstages, and then I can explain it much better. So basically we've got a lever and a button down here which controls this entire farm. So we've got this huge chest over here which you place your gold into, and that will start funneling down into this minecart with a hopper. Now once you flick this lever, the minecart with the hopper will start leaving and go about its journey and start delivering the gold. Now this gold will then make its way down these hoppers and into these droppers, which will then start filling up with whole bunches of gold, which will then supply the piglins. Then of course what happens is you press the on off button, which is back at the control panel. So when you press the start farm press button over here, you'll see a redstone signal comes down here and turns off all of these redstone torches. And what this will do is will deactivate this dropper. But once they switch back on, it will reactivate it and shoot the remaining items in this dropper down onto a pressure plate back here. So if I actually just break this block down here and step into this little hole, I can try and explain it better. So basically, once the first item is shot out onto this pressure plate, it will activate it like so. And that of course will turn off this redstone torch, which will then deactivate this dropper. Now, of course, you will have a bunch more gold in these droppers just like this. So I'm just going to symbolize that with some stone that I have on me at the moment. And once the item is picked up, like I've just picked up the crafting table, another item will be shot out just like that. And that will basically keep replenishing the piglins with gold after they picked up the last piece of gold and traded it. This way, the piglins' inventories will continuously get filled up with gold and continue trading, which of course leads on to the next part of this farm. So once all of these guys here have done their trading, then they drop items down into this bottom hopper system. And this hopper system continues all the way down here till this elevator back here. And this item elevator is super simple to build. It's just a bunch of droppers with some observers and some extra redstone. And I'm not going to explain it because it's super simple and you could probably all do it by yourself. Anyway, once the items of course make their way up this dropper elevator over here, because we're in the nether and we can't use the water stream, they'll then be shot onto this hopper over here. And then this hopper system will continue all the way down here up to my mega sorting system. And I have to say this is one huge sorting system, but it's super effective. Now if we actually go into one of the hoppers here, you can see all the items that we get from this farm. So we get gravel, we get obsidian, we get crying obsidian, and so much more. For example, let's check what we've got here. We've got some iron nuggets, we've got some ender pearls, we've got some leather, and we get a whole bunch more of items. And then of course, with every sorting system that you guys should have, you'll of course have an overflow protection. So if you go over here and break this iron block, you see we've got some fire, so any overflow will just be burnt in this fire and not cause any lag. And that's pretty much all the basics of my farm covered. And I know, right, it's super simple, and I could even build a tutorial on this if you guys would like me to, but I'm pretty sure you all got the gist, and I bet you can all make it yourselves because I know all my subscribers are really smart people and you can all do this yourself. But if you guys would like me to make a tutorial, just let me know. I can, and it's really, really simple. But now with all that done, I think it's time to end today's episode. Anyway, just before we end off today's episode, I'll just quickly like to say I've been doing a bunch of AFKing here and gathering loads of materials, and I think it's super useful. And if you guys ever build a piglin farm, I highly recommend that you build one similar to mine like I explained. And I'm going to be doing a bunch more AFKing here in the future as well, including in between episodes. But just like I said, it's unfortunately the end of today's episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I really need to upload today's video. So I'll see you all next time. Bye!